Shalom, family. Good to see everybody here. I hope everybody is doing well. We're going to talk about the marches, not us being part of the marches. We already know our people have decided not to join these other groups. I'm just talking about how you notice a lack of police presence in these marches, and it's very clear. There's no doubt when we are present in the streets, the police are ramped up. They're in military gear. They're ready to get in there and drag us to jail. But when non Black people are in the streets marching, you don't see the police turning up at all. They are there, but they're just kind of on the sidelines. I was looking at this was a few weeks ago. The immigrants were out marching and they were disrupting traffic, and the police just could just sort of stood on the side and did nothing. But if Black people go out there and do the same exact thing, people are going to get arrested. So it is very obvious, and I'm glad a lot of people are starting to notice there is a huge difference in how the police conduct themselves when they are out there with non-Black people. Even the immigrants that are not part of this country get better treatment in their protest, and they're not even citizens. And they get better treatment during their protest than Black citizens that were born and raised and been here for generations now. We are all noticing. So when the police get all turned up, that's for us only. Now, I want y'all to take notice. There are no militarized police on the streets. None. You don't see nobody in military gear like they come into a war. But they do that to our people. You don't see them on camera getting arrested. Now, there have been protests this week for immigrants and protests this week in all 50 states against Donald Trump and his administration. That was this week. And I'm going to show you both protests. And I want you to see the lack of police presence because a lot of us were not out there. You notice you don't see them fat, pudgy white men with guns, with those assault rifles showing up talking about they came to protect property. You notice they didn't show up? That ain't nothing but 100% unadulterated racism. Where's them old fat chubby guys with assault rifles? Anybody seen them? Anybody seen them around talking about they got to protect the property? Anybody see them? All right. Now, like I said, they've been disrupting traffic. You see no arrests, no mass arrests. You don't hear about, oh, just like on the news media in this country need to be called out too. Because whenever Black folks go to the street, oh, there were 400 arrests. Oh, there were 200 arrests. Oh, there was 300 arrests. Y'all be all over the media screaming that mess out. How come y'all not talking about any arrests? How come y'all not doing that? Maybe because nobody's getting arrested because they're not Black people. All right. Now, when you watch, I'm going to show you the video. You're going to hardly see a cop out there. You're going to hardly see it. I got two videos, one from President's Day, and I got one of the immigrants marching. Nobody had to set aside funds just in case people got arrested. You know, like they do when our people are out there. People have to set aside money so folks can get out of jail. You notice you don't hear about anybody that got to set aside any money to get folks out of jail that got arrested because they're not arresting anybody. So, no, don't come to us talking about it's because we're violent. We ain't violent. You know what? You know what was violent? January 6th. There is no protest on the street, past or present, that surpassed what happened on January 6th. So, you notice Donald Trump ain't upset with the protesters like he was during George Floyd. Donald Trump was so upset with the large protests that were going on in the country. He wanted to get the military involved in getting the folks off the streets. You notice Donald Trump ain't disturbed by the protesters, these very non-Black protesters that are out there. You don't hear him talking about National Guard and getting the military and doing this and getting these people off and flying helicopters, swooping down on their head. Remember he did all of that? You notice Donald Trump ain't talking like that now? He don't have nothing to say about the protesters now, does he? But when they were out on them streets, he wanted everything, every cop, every military. He wanted stuff up in the air. He wanted all of that. But you don't hear him talking like that, do you? So it just tells us right there, police departments in America respects anybody right to protest except for the Black community. The Black community is the only protesters they will go out of their way to attack and jail. But anybody else that takes to the streets, they don't do that. So don't let them tell you that we all getting treated the same. We're not. And it's very obvious. And I'm so glad our people are picking up on it. No matter who goes out on these streets, as long as they are not us, the cops in this country, the politicians, Donald Trump, everybody's cool with it. Everybody's cool. And hey, Donald Trump, you know, since you're in a forgiving mood, how come you don't pardon any of these protesters that go to jail? you're going to do it for January 6th. That was very violent. We ain't going to ever forget the urine and the shit that was smeared all around the rotunda in the U.S. Capitol. All of the violence, folks died on that day. And those were the people you are pardoning. Then in my opinion, everybody that goes out and do a peaceful protest, they should be pardoned too. If you're going to pardon those wild beasts from January 6th, you should be pardoning anybody that takes to the street and protest in peace. So y'all, let me show you these two videos, very recent videos from 2025 of protests. And you tell me what you notice in these protests, okay? Just tell me what you notice. So let me show you the first one. I got one from President's Day. How you doing, True Royal? All right. Now, this first one is them protesting Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Doge, and I just want you to see how different the police are with these folks. All right. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen, and I'll show you the immigrants next. I'll show you this one first from President's Day this week, and I'll show you the immigrants next. Thank you. Thank you.
On this President's Day, a day of action, protesting the new administration. Across the Bay Area, including Oakland and San Jose, people came together to push back against President Trump's policies, including his crackdown on immigration. San Francisco also taking part in these national protests. And as our Kara St. Cyr shows us, one group focused its efforts on a Tesla dealership.
Two groups came together to protest President Donald Trump and what they call an overreach of executive power.
Are under attack. What do we do? Stand up like that.
The message is loud and clear.
What do we do? Stand up like that.
Protesters intend to push back against President Donald Trump and Elon Musk's attempt to shrink government powers. This demonstration is one in a series erupting all over the Bay Area. Leading the charge in San Francisco Monday is Patty Model-Mog.
I'm very terrified of what's to come, and I think we need to get Elon Musk out of government.
Model-Mog wants to accomplish 3 things: encourage shareholders to dump Tesla stock, keep Musk's influence out of government, and get him out of the White House, period. Model-Mog led hundreds of protesters to a Tesla dealership, where she hopes to discourage people from supporting the brand. Other demonstrators say the recent actions by the newly established Department of Government Efficiency and the president threaten vulnerable groups like the trans community. Lindsay Collins, a school teacher in the city, says this visibility is important.
This is not normal. What's happening is wrong, immoral, dangerous, and it threatens democracy and everyone, regardless of your race, religion, or status here.
I haven't seen one ever.
But not everyone was in agreement. One man driving by the protest said the message needs work.
Let's have a clear message. Let's not just keep saying the same rhetoric.
The protest circled the block twice before demonstrators went their separate ways. Demonstrators say this is the first of a string of protests to come.
You know, we also heard from a Bay Area Republican who used to be the California Party chair. He says he expected this kind of pushback, but believes most Americans are behind President Trump's policies.
So it's not surprising when a new president comes in and want to take things in a different direction that people are still disagreeing with them. But I think on the issues so far, the strong majority of Americans have been with President Trump. He still has to deliver economically, but on issues like cutting the size of government, I think there's a strong majority in favor of that.
In a recent CBS News poll, 53% of respondents say they approve of the job that President Trump is doing overall. 70% say he's doing what he promised in the campaign, but one key issue looms. Most Americans say the administration isn't focused enough on lowering prices. Inflation was a key reason Mr. Trump won the election.
Okay. You see the cops? They broke out in protest in all 50 states on President's Day, protesting against Donald Trump, protesting against, yeah, you notice they have "not like us" in the signs. I said, these people don't have no original thought at all. That one person said, they not like us. Donald Trump and Elon, they not like us. I said, yeah, see, they copy everything we do, but claim they come up with everything. They couldn't come up with everything to save their mama's life. Mm-hmm. Right. See, as long as we're not on the streets, there's barely a police presence, barely one, right? So let me show you the immigrants next. Let me see if I still got that video. Yeah, I do. All right, let me show you the illegals out here protesting. And just notice these folks, they are out here marching for immigrants that are illegal, and nobody is bothering them. ICE ain't even out there, y'all. ICE ain't even out there. Okay, give me a one if you can see my screen. So I don't want to hear nothing else about we get treated the same. It is way obvious that we don't. This right here is shining a light on America and the racism here. You know, they're always alert when we're out there, but anybody else, you look around as these people are marching, where's the cops? So you can be illegal and march in the streets of America, and you got more right to be there than a melanated citizen that's been here our whole lives and been here for generations. All right, let's get to it.
A march of what started with just a few dozen protesters turned into a demonstration of hundreds through the streets of downtown Los Angeles. The group calling for a national day of action for a day without immigrants, encouraging the immigrant community not to go to work or school to show the power behind their community and their contributions to the country.
Immigrants are human beings. Immigrants are not criminals.
Throughout downtown Los Angeles, their message heard loud and clear as Mexican and Central American flags waved with the crowd.
The immigrant community is Los Angeles.
Throughout the morning, this rally continued to just grow in size, and by the afternoon, after walking miles through downtown Los Angeles, thousands stopped right here at the Main Street Bridge and Spring Street Bridge, waving and showing their support for this movement here right over the 101.
Oh, my father migrated here when he was 17 years old. If he wouldn't have done that, he wouldn't have met my mom, and I wouldn't be here. And it's personal.
Maria Ramos of Gardena, a part of the large crowd on the Main Street Bridge.
On the back, I need my dad, because my dad doesn't have papers, but he's not a criminal. And people are like, your dad got deported. I'm like, no, he didn't, but he's at risk every day too. And he's a gardener, so he's a target.
For many, this is personal, and their actions today are fueled by frustration, anger, and passion to speak up for those who are too fearful to do so themselves.
Our parents and our grandparents fought for us to be here, and I feel like the way that they're doing it now, of getting people in the streets and at work, is just horrible.
It's a battle cry from a community fighting for what they believe in and for their hope to stay home.
Every person here is a foreigner to some degree, and we're just standing up for our rights, for what we believe in, for all the hard work that a lot of these individuals, including myself, have done.
And that's why all the Latinos, we come together, because we know our culture, we know our history. They try to erase it in the history books, but we remember where we're from, and we stand together.
Okay, you see that, right? All right, you see that, right? You see that, right? So even if you are not legal, and most of them got family members here, some legal, some illegal, but the bottom line is these folks ain't even been here as long as we have. And in America, they got more right to protest in peace than we do. Ladies and gentlemen, one thing I hope we step up on are economic protests. And in a way, we are, because when Target got rid of their DEI program, people stopped shopping there. Now they're starting to back away from that decision to do that. So we are, in a sense, doing some, but we really need to do more economic protest. Economic protests are really good because, technically, if we all were diligent in economic protest, we could literally make ourselves rich and make our enemies poor, because we put trillions of dollars in the economy. And if we withheld our trillions from these people, we would end up getting rich in the process. That's what would happen. And if we need to see anything, that's what we need to see. And if you don't believe it, just look at our very famous model example of Black Wall Street. When we spent with each other and stayed in our communities, a lot of our folks became wealthy. And we still need to practice that. I have been doing that a lot lately. Whenever I need to get something online, I'll Google and see if I can find a Black merchant to buy from. And I'm going to continue to do it. And I don't even care if it takes longer to get to me. I'm just going to make sure I go out of my way whenever I need or want something, that I will go that extra mile to find Black merchants that I can buy from. That's what I want to do this year. And I'm going to go above and beyond to find that. And I found a few Black merchants locally that I have started buying from a lot more often. There's a Black couple, real cute couple, and they own a coffee shop. And I've been trying to get whenever I want coffee, I will just get it from them. And they also got tea and hot chocolate and lattes and stuff. But, they're a young Black couple that started a coffee shop. Their store is still fairly new, haven't been around long. I don't care if I got to pay $2, $3 more. I'm going to support them. I'm going to support them. And there are several new Black restaurants. I don't eat out that often, but if I do eat something, I'm going to order from the In fact, I ordered from a new one that just opened up recently, and the food was very good, you know? So I'm going to go that extra mile. That's what I am vowing to do. I'd rather make people in my group rich over any of these Gentiles any day of the week. And, if we do an economic boycott of a lot of these businesses out here that are not us, trust me, things in America will change really fast. They won't be so quick to treat you so badly when you start taking your money away from them. So if we can get to that next step and make the fight economic, I know everybody's talking about delineating, and that's great. And we should continue to do that. Don't ever stop doing that. And we are going to focus on ourselves, and we're not going out and joining other groups. Definitely stick with that. But we also need to take that extra step and do an economic boycott on all of these groups that have shown their asses to us and have hopped over fences and came over here trying to mistreat us, but got the nerve to be putting out a whole cache of videos talking about we need to join them. We need to join them. I ain't joining your ass in nothing. No, don't join them in nothing. So, look, y'all, this was proof. It is very inevitable. The politicians, even Donald Trump and the police, Everything they do to us, they do exclusively to us. There are still in the news our men and women being shot unarmed by the police. I know many of us have gotten away from those stories, but it is still happening out here. And it's not happening. You don't hear them talking about no migrants, that illegals that they're shooting illegal, out there. Look at what they were doing up in New York. They were getting on mopeds and snatching people's iPhones and purses. And nary one got shot. So don't tell me the police can't show restraint when they need to. They didn't shoot those illegals even when they were committing all kinds of crimes. So, y'all, I don't want to hear it. But listen, we got to help each other. What we're doing is great, but it don't hurt to do more. That's all I'm saying. So, y'all, I'll probably be back. I will be doing the Bible study later, but I will also come back with another live stream because there's a few topics that I want to talk on. But this one, I really wanted to bring this to your attention if you were not paying attention. But I believe most of us were paying attention to what's going on, no doubt. Dark skinned brother, thank you so much for your undying contribution to my channel. I deeply appreciate you. The super chat, police wish we were out there now protesting so they can get their rocks off on us. You ain't never lied. And that's the thing. That's what everybody is noticing. If we were out there, they be looking to crack your head open, snatch you up, grabbing on people's arms to arrest them. They'll put you on the ground and handcuff you. They want to do all that, and they want to make sure it's on camera. And the media in this country, don't let them off the hook. They are full participants themselves. Whenever we get arrested, they make sure it can be shown on the news. And even if they claim some people got arrested, they didn't show it, did they? They didn't show those arrests. Thaddeus Peterson, thank you so much for the super chat. Tax. That should be the next boycott. Yes. Do you know Donald Trump is rumbling about getting rid of the IRS? My concern, because they, as of Thursday, they let 6,000 IRS employees go, which means it's going to mess with the tax season big time. So, y'all, the people that did not file, you may ultimately be waiting way longer for your refund. And if he does away with the IRS like they're rumbling and saying, then who knows? It may not come at all at the rate that we're going. Another thing, they're shorthanded too. And people that process the returns, they are shorthanded in that staff, on top of the people being laid off this past Thursday. So it no matter how you look at it, it's not good. It's not good at all. Well, we shall see. We shall see what happens, but man, this place is going down, y'all. This place is going down. And I was reading online how they're organizing more protests against Donald Trump and Elon. So it'll probably be more upcoming, especially now that we're getting closer to spring and the weather is about to break in certain parts of the country where it's warmer. You'll see more people out there. So these protests are about to get bigger out here. They are getting bigger, for real. So y'all, please, I'll see you later, for real. I'll see you later. I hope you come back. I got some really good topics to talk about, and I hope you will be there. And again, take advantage of the discounts that I offer. on my hair growth Etsy.com site. Put in thank you as one word, 15, to get 15% off of your products. And that thank you 15, write it as one word, never expires. Never expires. So always use that discount code. Shalom, family.